Hello, hello, hello. And today we will be making a procedural tiles material. It's not a very complex one, but it has some imperfections and it can look pretty good. Let's start. For this, we need a Voronoi texture as a base. You put this here. We will change this to distance to edge. This scale you can later use however you want, but for now we will use 5. 5 is fine. We will then press Control T to bring up our texture coordinate and just plug the object into the vector one, and we are good to go for now. Then we need a color ramp. So let's get a color ramp. Put this here, put this here, and till now it looks something like this. And we want our things to have a bit more confined edges, so we do it like this. And now we put the randomness down to 0, and we have our grid. Now you can vary your thickness of the um of the in between things between tiles with this. So basically, if you want very thick in betweens, you just bring this out a bit. But I found like 0.45 or 0.41 works pretty good for me. So I'm just gonna use that value. Um, Next, we want to do these. We want to color these in betweens, but we want a second like control object for that. So what we will do is we will pull this back a bit and we will use a second color ramp and we'll put this here. And this we will just bring up till probably around like here and then bring this to about here. Then let's change to the black so it isn't like a pitch black, so more of a normal black you would actually find. And now we have our in-between. Confined and we don't have like this ugly corners that you have with this tile, so it's just like nice and flat, but we still have some difference between them. Um, Now we obviously want some imperfections, and those imperfections we will do with a noise texture. And for that we will do Shift A, add a noise texture, put this here, plug the object back into this, and then let's put the scale to something like 7, the detail up to 15, and then we want to duplicate this color ramp and put this here, and then get this to go to about here, and then bring this back out again. And now we want to mix our two colors that we have. We can bring this down a bit. Now we can bring this up to here, I think. And now we want to mix our colors that we just did here together. So we can use those two. Just press Control 0. It brings up the mix node. No, I didn't want that. Just wanted. Okay, then we have to do it. Let's get a mix RGB. Put this here. Change color 1 to fully white because that's the color of our tiles, and then get this one and put this in color 2, and we will use this as the faculty. And it should look something like this now. And we will put this into the roughness, which now will basically make that we have some spots which are rough and some spots which are not rough. And especially what is important, we have our in-betweens which are not rough, which is very, very important for us later. So then we can make a second base color layer because I want some dust in the in-betweens. So we will use this color ramp as a mix base, and we will put some dust there. That we will do with another noise texture, so we can just duplicate this, bring this up. Again, put the object node into there. For this, we will use a size of 9. The rest stays the same. And we will need a new color ramp, so Shift A, color ramp, put this here. get this faculty into this, preview it, and now we need to flip this color ramp. We want the black here, bring it to around something like here is probably fine. And then we want this to be our color of the dust. So I'm probably just gonna do like something around like those lines and then get a second one in here, which will, let's make this one actually a bit like this. Something like this probably works well. You can do this like this is obviously more dust and this is obviously less dust. And then we mix those. Now we can press Control 0. It mixes them for us, and we need to change this to add. Be careful, and then put this to 1. Be careful, this only works if your tile color is white. If your tile color isn't white, it can lead to some, let's say, weird results. For example, if I change this tile color to like blue, it doesn't really does what I wanted to do anymore in those in betweens. I can probably even like see it now starts to look kind of weird, and if I use white for it, you can definitely see it better. That's it, that it's only in the in-betweens and not on the tiles itself. Yeah, let's keep this like somewhere here. Okay, now we need to set up the actual node. Okay, we can just plug the color into the base color already. That's because that's done, so we can preview this. Let render for a bit, and here's our imperfection map. Okay, now we need to set up something different though, because we need to set up the bump map for this. So for this, we are going to duplicate this one, put this here, obviously put this into the faculty again, and then we will get a bump node, put this here, color into height, strength stays at 1, and put this into the normal. And this should result in us having tiles with like small differences, but not like huge differences. The in between doesn't look shit like it would if we do this. So we have a filled out in between which works. And yeah, I am still not finished with this. What I still want to do is I want to add some surface imperfections like scratches. You can obviously improve on these. These are just like my basic way of doing scratches, like I always do them. For this, we will need a Voronoi texture again. So let's get a Voronoi texture, put this here. Again, get this one, put this here. Change F1 to distance to edge again. And this time we want a scale of like 17 because we want small scratches. And we want to duplicate this color ramp we did up here. So just bring this in, put this here, and then just bring it a bit closer. Like 0.14 worked for me. You can obviously do this however you want, and we can preview it again. Now we want to mix this. So again, we need something to mix it with. So let's get a noise texture, put this here. Again, get the object, put it into the vector. And now we need a second color ramp, so get out the color ramp. Vector into vector, preview, and bring this to roundabout here and bring this close enough. So now only in these black spots will we have like this color ramp. And now we just need to combine them. That's pretty easy, so just bring them together, put them on add faculty of 1. We need a new color ramp, so let's just duplicate this one, put this here. And we can bring this back a bit at roundabout here, and we can, of course, now control how much we want our scratches to be shown. Like, do we want them to be bigger? Do we want them to be smaller? So I'm probably going to leave this around here. Again, I'm not quite happy with where this is placed. I'm just gonna bring this back a bit and bring this back also a bit. I want smaller sketches. Like I said, you can do them however you want, but this is just my simple way of doing sketches. Now we just need to put them into our bump texture node, so just duplicate the bump node, put this here, color into height, strength down to 0.4, and we can preview our final material, because with this, we are done. And this is a pretty clean material. It's not very hard to do, but it can do some really nice things, and honestly, it looks great on multiple different objects. For example, I have like these test objects where I can put stuff. Obviously on this, it doesn't work as well because it's a cube and it's a procedural texture that only really works on flat curves. But yeah, I think this is a pretty cool material which can definitely find some use. You just have to be careful with like curved objects because it can be quite iffy there, but you can work around that with smart UVs and smart normals. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.